My name and title is Ann Page Stecker, and I'm Professor of Humanities at Colby Sawyer College, and I've been teaching here for 34 years. I teach in the Humanities Department in the English major. So at the moment, I'm teaching mostly courses that I invented, which is very interesting. And what I like is the mixture of literature and creative writing and cultural studies. I have traveled a lot, and I will start this by saying that when I graduated from college, I knew I didn't want to go directly to graduate school. I knew I would go to graduate school because I knew I wanted to teach in college. So I lived for almost a year and a half in London, and London is the second home of my heart. It's a very different place now. But I've also had the opportunity then, and several times since then, to travel in parts of Italy and Tuscany. Really love Florence in that area. And probably the wildest trip of all I took, and life-changing, was to visit my daughter, an anthropologist then, in Bali in Indonesia, and my husband and I spent 3 weeks with her. She was a junior in college, and that was, being in a Hindu culture had a huge effect on my sense of spirituality, because for the Hindu, everything is sacred. Mm-hmm. So at every corner and every bridge, there's a little basket of flowers they put there every day to make it a sacred place. I'm very interested in the presence of women in literature. And so I invented a course called Images of Women in Literature, I forgot, and I love to teach that. Well, I'm presently writing a biography of a woman who was born in 1827 and died in 1903, Mary Elizabeth Wilson Sherwood, known to her friends as MEWS, or recently, because I refer to her as the Muse, M-U-S-E. Then my friend who had worked on the New Hampshire history with, and I discovered 350 letters 3 sisters wrote their father in the 1850s when he abandoned them and went west to be part of the gold rush. And it's entitled Sisters of Fortune. And so now, of those 3 sisters, I'm running a biography of the oldest sister. She's the only one who did any writing, and I've worked on it for 2 sabbaticals, and I'm in a final draft. My favorite book I have ever read is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. She plays with form and content in such a revolutionary and engaging way. And I bet I've read it 24 times. I'm presently teaching a course for honors that just meets once a week for an hour, where we choose an author and read their work aloud. Mike Jochen and I started it. He taught Shakespeare first, and then he said, "So what are you going to teach, Ann Page? You've got to teach the next one." And I said, "Well, of course I would have taught Shakespeare if you hadn't." What I'm doing this fall is teaching Virginia Woolf. And we will be finishing To the Lighthouse today and starting Miss Dalloway